Hey Scrappy peeps! Suzanna here today to share with you this layout based on this sketch. This is the January 1st sketch for SpiegelMom Scraps created by Laura Rumble, and this is the layout that I created based on Laura's super awesome sketch. I have this picture of my daughter, and she was all ready for cotillion, and Laura has the star sort of as the main element to this layout. And so my initial idea, and you'll see me working on this, was to create a large sequins pocket behind a vellum star. So I cut out the star. The star is actually from the Ring in the New Year's layout that I made. It was the innard of one of the stars, and so I just used that template and traced it onto vellum. And you can see here I'm using my eraser to erase the pencil marks, and I just cut it out using my X-Acto blade to create the star that I wanted to use as a clear element, really. And again, the original intent had been to make a shaker pocket, but you'll see in a minute that I put the sequins behind the vellum, but the vellum isn't sheer enough. It's rather opaque, and so it really mutes the colors of the sequins, which sort of takes away from what my original plan had been for this. This is paper tape. It's actually medical tape that I'm using. I like the medical tape. I've learned as a temporary adhesive, it pulls up much cleaner. So you can see there that it really mutes the colors of the sequins and dulls the effect of them. I think it would work better if I were to have used like a page protector, or if I had a clearer vellum, but I don't currently have a clearer vellum. And these are rather, I'm going to say not muted, because they're sort of more pastel colored sequences, and so that's not going to work for what I want. So I decide I'm just going to use the vellum star as is, and now I'm choosing papers from this Pebbles collection by Jen Hadfield to use as the layers. Laura has a bunch of layers underneath that star or around the star under the picture, and so I have chosen a bunch of colors that I want to use that go with the colors in my daughter's dress. So I'm going to start off with this pink piece, and I originally was going to keep the border there and use that because I like the way that added a different texture element to the page. But I want to back the photo first. So I'm just going to put a thin white border around this picture, and then that's going to pop the picture just a little bit more. There we go. So that I can have a better idea of what layers I want to use. I really love these gold pieces. It's sort of more of a rose gold, and so coordinating the golds, because not a lot of elements these days actually, there's more and more that have that rose gold, but a lot of the older elements are more of the more yellow gold. So I wanted to pop the picture off this next background layer, so I just have some fun foam that I backed the picture with, and now I'm going to just trim that. And again, I just wanted a small bit of this. The nice thing about the gold is when it catches the light, it adds another color to the page. And so I'm just building layers behind the photo. Laura has some thicker layers, some bigger layers, and some of mine do get bigger as the layout progresses. Now, I want to apologize for the length of this video. I was very indecisive in the building of the layers of this layout, and so you'll actually also see lots of sort of transitions in this video. I don't mean to make you motion sick like this, but there's lots of things that I did that I didn't end up even remotely liking, and I was very indecisive in the creating of this layout. I love the ultimate outcome of the layout, but it took me a while to get to where I was at, and a lot of shuffling around of things that I tried to save you from having to watch, or I sped up like that fussy cutting. So I needed something darker. there's a lot of pastel-y sort of colored elements in this, and I really like the way that that blue with the gold spiced things up a little bit, sort of gave it a little bit of weight, and drew your eye with a little bit more intent to what was going on. It also helped really define the star a little bit better as well by having that dark element where you kind of see the opaqueness of the star. So I'm just ripping a piece of selvage, and it just adds another little bit of sort of that gray blue to the right hand side of the photo. Don't ask me what I'm doing here. I think I'm saving paper, and so rather than just gluing the whole thing down, I decided to save the 2 inches of paper. It's so silly, but I did. I think it's because of the gold that was there that I really there's not a lot of that because it's from the 6x6 paper pad, and so I guess I think I'm saving myself. I don't know. So just laying down adhering down the layers that I have committed to. And there's that fussy cut flower, and I can't decide whether I want it up the top there because there is that white space in the photo, and I like the way that it sort of hides that white space. But when you look at the weight of the photo, everything's sort of more to the bottom left, and by putting it at the right, it makes it literally slap bang in the middle of the photo. Oh, I decided to keep the selvage, so I just trimmed off a 1/4 inch down the bottom there because, again, I like that weight and how it helps keep things centered to the bottom. So you can see with the flower in the top right, it was slap bang in the middle, and it looks much better with the weight to the bottom left of the photo, even though it looks better covering the white space of the photo. It's a balance that you need to create in the overall layout as well as how things look. So these are some of the sort of 3D stickers that come with the collection, which I pulled apart. I liked that butterfly, but I didn't like the circle. The circle with the star sort of bothered me, and so I just pulled the butterfly off and was able to use that, incorporate that into the layout nicely. And I actually end up putting it down at the bottom right on the selvage strip. I kind of leave it there while I'm playing around for things, but that is not its permanent home. So I'm now looking for a piece because I know I want to rip something to put down along that very clean edge. I sort of want to break that up a little bit. And so I'm going to rip this piece of pattern paper from the 6x6 pad and just stick that right there to sort of soften that line a little bit and also create a bit of a shelf for some embellishments. I really love these labels. This is actually why I bought this collection initially, was for these labels. I really liked the rest of it too, but the labels were sort of the deal clincher for me. Cincher? So you can see I moved that butterfly down to the bottom there. And I also had these rub-ons that I absolutely loved as well. And I'm going to split them, just cut them up a little bit and use them as a little bit more embellishment on the page. So Laura in the sketch has lots and lots of, she's got some paint splatters and tons of stars and some sequins. So because I've chosen a sort of a busy border background, I didn't put any mixed media. I had pondered the idea of coloring a few of the flowers, but I was worried that if I didn't like it, there was no undoing it, and this was the only piece of this particular pattern paper that I had. So rather than put the mixed media the way Laura has called for in the sketch, I just put in lots and lots of sort of little elements. And most of what I have is going to end up being puffy stickers and sequins. So this is just one of the clear stickers that go with a Maggie Holmes collection, actually. I pulled out elements you can see here that had gold and pink and the navy blue, and ended up going with a lot of the pinks and the gold things there. So these are from, I believe these are close to my heart. They're from a wedding collection that I bought. And I like the way that the gold complements the flowers in the layout. And these are little puffy stickers that are also from Close to My Heart, but from a different collection. And so I just pulled out a little pink star, 2 stars, and a little heart. Now I'm going to start my title work here. And I knew I wanted Belle of the Ball. My daughter is ready to go to cotillion. And so this is, I actually did a page, I want to say a couple of months ago, of my daughter. I used a very old basic gray collection. And so this was her ready to go to the dance. And the picture that I had scrapped before with that basic gray collection was of her at the dance. So these are letters from Evalicious from a Cocoa Daisy kit. And I love that they're sort of the gray blue that matches the blue that's in that pattern paper behind her. And so I want to use these. And then I need a 3rd font for Ball. That is a flower that I had stamped out that I cut out because I don't end up using the flower and it means nothing to the video. So that little pink piece of paper there. I wanted to give a little bit of dimension to that fussy cut flower, so I just backed it as well with some fun foam. And now I'm going to finish off the title and put in Ball. But in order to make Ball work, I end up having to shift some letters, and you'll see in the close-ups and when I'm finished here that everything, so I've got it on 3 lines here, Belle of the Ball, but I like it better when it's all on 1 line. And because of the different height of the letters, I had to shift things around just a tad. There we go. And that is my title. I love it. So where on the sketch, Laura has journal, 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 and lots of journaling, probably on printed tags. I have my title instead, which really sort of tells the story. And now I am adding sequins to this layout. I started off with the Rollin Rustic collection, but I wanted a little bit more pink because the Rollin Rustic is more of a pinky, well, it's more of a, I want to say a brown and white, and I wanted to add a little bit more pink into the collection, and so I used Baby Butterfly, bits and pieces of Baby Butterfly. So that, my friends, is my interpretation of the January 1st SpiegelMom Scraps sketch, Laura's sketch. You have some time to play along and win a $10 gift card, so be sure to link us up on the 15 Minutes with SpiegelMom Scraps. Enjoy the close-ups, and thanks for stopping in today. Take care.